National Electrical Code Article 406.5e addresses receptacle adapters. Receptacle adapters are only permitted for the following purposes. Firstly, for temporary connection of portable appliances for a limited period of time, such as during construction or remodeling. Secondly, for reversing polarity, for changing the polarity of an outlet. And thirdly, ground fault circuit interrupter protection, for adding ground fault circuit interrupter protection to an existing outlet. Fixed receptacle adapters, such as those that are fastened with the center plate screw, are not permitted under the National Electrical Code. The reasoning is that fixed receptacle adapters can create a safety hazard by overloading the circuit, creating a loose connection, overheating the outlet or adapter, or damaging the outlet or adapter. There are a few exceptions where fixed receptacle adapters may be permitted. Firstly, for testing purposes to temporarily connect test equipment to an outlet, and secondly, in industrial or commercial settings when special provisions are made to ensure the adapter is properly installed and maintained. The National Electrical Code is a minimum standard, and local building codes may have more stringent requirements. It's always best to check with your local building inspector before installing any receptacle adapters. In a hotel setting, the consistent use of fixed receptacle adapters is generally prohibited by the National Electrical Code due to safety concerns. Consider the potential for misuse and abuse by hotel guests. The adapters could be used to connect multiple high-current devices to a single outlet, leading to overloading and potential fire hazards. The use of fixed receptacle adapters in hotels could also violate other National Electrical Code articles, such as those related to branch circuit loading and overcurrent protection. Always consult with a qualified electrical inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards before using any receptacle adapters in a hotel or any other commercial building. The inspector can assess the specific circumstances and provide guidance on the safest and most code-compliant solution. Ensure any electrical work performed is done by licensed electricians. They are trained to understand and apply the National Electrical Code and local codes correctly. Regular electrical inspections are essential in hotels to identify potential hazards, ensure code compliance, and maintain a safe environment for guests and staff. Address any identified issues promptly and effectively. When temporary power is needed, use power strips or extension cords that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories. Make sure these devices are appropriately sized for the load and are used safely. Hotels should establish clear policies regarding the use of personal electrical devices by guests. Provide information on safe electrical practices and prohibit the use of unapproved adapters or extension cords. Consider installing additional outlets in guest rooms to accommodate the increasing number of electronic devices that guests typically bring. This can reduce the temptation to use adapters or extension cords improperly. Implementing a comprehensive electrical safety program is crucial for hotels. The program should include regular inspections, maintenance, training, and clear policies to ensure the safety of guests and staff. Ensure all electrical equipment used in the hotel, including appliances, lighting fixtures, and wiring, is properly maintained and in good working order. Damaged or faulty equipment should be repaired or replaced promptly. Educate hotel staff on basic electrical safety principles, including how to identify potential hazards, report electrical problems, and respond to electrical emergencies. Provide ongoing training to keep staff up to date on best practices. In the event of an electrical emergency, such as a fire or shock, have a clear and well-rehearsed emergency response plan in place. Ensure that staff members are trained on how to evacuate guests safely and contact emergency services. Document all electrical work performed in the hotel, including inspections, maintenance, repairs, and installations. This documentation can be helpful for tracking electrical issues, demonstrating code compliance, and improving electrical safety over time. The National Electrical Code is updated every 3 years, so it's important to stay informed of the latest changes. Subscribe to industry publications, attend training courses, and consult with electrical experts to ensure that your hotel's electrical systems are up to date and compliant. Receptacle adapters introduce several potential issues that can compromise electrical safety, therefore, their usage is addressed in the National Electrical Code. Overloading circuits is a major concern. Receptacle adapters allow multiple devices to be connected to a single outlet. This can easily overload the circuit, especially if high-power appliances are used simultaneously. Circuit overloading can cause overheating, damage to wiring, and even electrical fires. Loose connections are another risk factor. Poorly designed or worn-out receptacle adapters can create loose connections. These loose connections increase resistance, leading to heat buildup and potential arcing, which can ignite nearby materials. Overheating is common with adapters. When a circuit is overloaded or a loose connection exists, the receptacle adapter and the outlet itself can overheat. This overheating can damage the adapter and outlet, melt insulation, and create a fire hazard. Damage to outlets is often unseen. The repeated use of receptacle adapters, especially those of poor quality, can damage the outlet. This damage can include bent or broken contacts, loose wiring, and cracks in the outlet housing. Adapters may not provide adequate grounding. Many receptacle adapters do not provide a proper grounding path. Grounding is essential for protecting against electrical shock and preventing equipment damage. Without proper grounding, a fault in an appliance can cause the metal parts to become energized, posing a serious shock hazard. Adapters can bypass safety features. Some receptacle adapters bypass important safety features such as ground fault circuit interrupters. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to detect ground faults and quickly shut off power to prevent electrical shock. Bypassing this protection can increase the risk of serious injury or death. Adapters often lack proper listing and certification. Many receptacle adapters sold online or in discount stores are not listed by recognized testing laboratories such as Underwriters Laboratories. These unlisted adapters may not meet safety standards and could pose a significant risk. Misuse is a common problem. Receptacle adapters are often misused, such as by connecting multiple power strips or extension cords to a single adapter. This can create a daisy chain effect, which further increases the risk of overloading and overheating. Incompatibility is a serious hazard. Some receptacle adapters are not compatible with the type of outlets found in older buildings. Using an incompatible adapter can damage the outlet and create a safety hazard. The National Electrical Code addresses these concerns in Article 406.5e, which specifically regulates the use of receptacle adapters. This section of the National Electrical Code outlines the permissible uses of receptacle adapters. Receptacle adapters are permitted for temporary connections. This includes connecting portable appliances for a limited period of time, such as during construction or remodeling. Adapters may be used for reversing polarity. Adapters can be used for changing the polarity of an outlet, which may be necessary for certain specialized equipment. Adapters can provide ground fault circuit interrupter protection. Adapters with built-in ground fault circuit interrupters can add ground fault circuit interrupter protection to an existing outlet that does not already have it. Fixed receptacle adapters are generally not permitted. Fixed receptacle adapters, such as those that are fastened with the center plate screw, are not permitted under the National Electrical Code. Exceptions to the general rule exist. There are a few exceptions where fixed receptacle adapters may be permitted under the National Electrical Code. Adapters can be used for testing purposes. Adapters may be used to temporarily connect test equipment to an outlet. Adapters can be used in industrial or commercial settings. Adapters are allowed in industrial or commercial settings and special provisions are made to ensure the adapter is properly installed and maintained. Local codes may have more stringent requirements. The National Electrical Code is a minimum standard, and local building codes may have more stringent requirements. Always check with your local building inspector before installing any receptacle adapters. The National Electrical Code provides specific guidelines for the proper use of receptacle adapters. Ensure that the adapter is properly rated for the intended use. Use only adapters that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory. Do not overload the circuit by connecting too many devices to the adapter. Inspect the adapter regularly for damage and replace it if necessary. Do not use adapters in damp or wet locations. Ensure that the adapter provides a proper grounding path. Educate users about the proper use of receptacle adapters. The National Electrical Code also addresses the installation of receptacles. All receptacles must be properly grounded. Receptacles must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Receptacles must be protected by ground fault circuit interrupters in certain locations such as bathrooms and kitchens. Receptacles must be tamper-resistant in dwelling units. The National Electrical Code also addresses the use of extension cords. Extension cords should only be used for temporary connections. Extension cords should be properly rated for the intended use. Extension cords should not be overloaded. Extension cords should be inspected regularly for damage and replaced if necessary. Extension cords should not be run through doorways or under carpets. The National Electrical Code also addresses the use of power strips. Power strips should be listed by a recognized testing laboratory. Power strips should be properly rated for the intended use. Power strips should not be overloaded. Power strips should not be connected to extension cords. The National Electrical Code also addresses the use of surge protectors. Surge protectors should be listed by a recognized testing laboratory. Surge protectors should be properly rated for the intended use. Surge protectors should be used to protect sensitive electronic equipment from power surges. By following the guidelines in the National Electrical Code, you can ensure the safe and proper use of receptacle adapters and other electrical devices. This will help to protect against electrical shock, fire, and other hazards. Fixed receptacle adapters, which are fastened with a center plate screw, are generally prohibited by the National Electrical Code to prevent potential safety hazards. These adapters can lead to circuit overloads, loose connections, overheating, and outlet damage, making them unsafe for continuous use in locations such as hotels. The National Electrical Code permits temporary connections with receptacle adapters for connecting portable appliances for a limited time, like during construction or remodeling. These temporary setups should be monitored to prevent overloading and ensure safety. Receptacle adapters can be used to reverse polarity in outlets or add ground fault circuit interrupter protection to existing outlets. However, these uses should comply with the National Electrical Code guidelines to maintain safety. There are exceptions where fixed receptacle adapters may be allowed, such as for testing purposes or in specific industrial or commercial environments where they are properly installed and maintained. Always verify compliance with local building codes, as they may have stricter requirements than the National Electrical Code. Consult with local electrical inspectors for clarification and compliance guidance before installing any receptacle adapters. Ensure that any electrical work meets the latest safety standards and local regulations to minimize risks and maintain electrical safety. Electrical safety programs, regular inspections, and staff training are vital in hotels to ensure a secure environment for guests and staff.